first.
Did you wipe off the...
Yeah, I did.
Go in bed?
Sure.
Leslie, hi.
Okay.
This raging case that went on, and that he, stayed home from school, and this was the end of February, and almost all of March. We went for just a checkup because they had him coming in like once a week, and I said to her, he's got a spring break coming up. What do you think about him going on a cruise with his friends and the dad? There'll be adults there. What do you think about him going, on a trip? And they said, yeah, I think he can
He's
handle
well
it.
enough.
Yeah, he's
Just
well enough.
drink water. I felt fine more or less, except for that one night. I woke up like 2, 3 a.m. Just couldn't sleep. I was so tired, hot and cold, throwing up. And just after that day, it just all kind of went downhill. I think it was the last day of the cruise.
That was a Saturday. He was admitted. Sunday I came up to visit him, and I brought the other 3 kids. It was after church, and 2 doctors came in that I hadn't met before, and they said, we need to talk with you, Mrs. Broide. And I said, okay. So I told the kids to go out into the hallway. They said, immediately said, there is something seriously wrong with Drew. His blood counts are just so low, and he is so ill, and he's become much more sick so quickly. We think that possibly he might have some kind of cancer. And immediately I thought of my husband, who had died just 6 months prior to this. And I sat there and I just remember being frozen for a minute, and then I just started crying. And it was toward the evening, and the kids were at various places, and suddenly I went into the room, and I knew that his breathing, that he was struggling, so I called everyone over, and I said, we need to be here.
It was very emotional. I was really scared.
I was definitely scared. I didn't know what was going on. It was definitely a shock seeing him like that.
I wanted to be strong for the kids, but at the same time, and I knew I had to do the right thing, to say the right thing. And so I said, let's just all gather around him and let's pray. And then I looked at Joe and I said, Joe, it's time for you to be with God, and that it was time for him to go, and that we loved him, and that we always would love him and miss him. And within moments, he breathed his last. The doctor had said, we don't want to alarm you, but we're going to move Drew down to the ICU because we want to take better care of him. I was listening to what these doctors had to say, and they were all kind of giving their opinion of what they thought might be going on. It's kind of a mystery even then at that point. I noticed almost immediately that the tip of your nose was turning purple and that your fingertips were turning purple. And I said to the nurse, what is going on? Drew's extremities are turning purple. And she said, well, it's due to a lack of circulation. He was sedated. Ended up having liver failure and kidney failure, heart arrhythmia.
Basically, total life support is what I had.
I just couldn't believe that I had a second family member that was going to, succumb to cancer. I bent down to hug and kiss Drew, and I said, Drew, we just gave you your last rites, but don't think for a minute that you were going to die.